Hello learners, welcome to Maheshwari's Majestic Learning, a place for smart learning. Today we are going to continue with the Scilab session number 2. So recap of a Scilab session 1. In the last session 1, we just start about installing of Scilab and then we just started with how the Scilab has been used as a calculator. As a calculator, you can use all basic arithmetic functions plus, minus, power, division, multiplication, etc. And we have seen some predefined variables to start with percentage I for your imaginary part and percentage pi for your pi, etc. And we have seen some general functions as to square sqrt of x to find the square root of x and exp of x to identify the exponential value of x. So let us start with today's sessions with statistical function. So Scilab supports the predefined functions for the statistical analysis also. So sum of x to calculate the sum of the element, mean of x to find the average of the elements, minimum of x, it will identify the minimum value defined in a vector, maximum of x identifies the maximum value, round of x will give the closest integer of x, ceiling of x will give the ceiling value and floor of x will give the floor value, which is output will be nearer part of x. Then in order to have ascending order and descending order, we have a predefined function of g sort of x. G sort of x will give you the descending order. G sort of x comma g comma I will give the ascending order. So the practice problem you can try. I'm just defining x is equal to 1, 10, 25, 50 and 15. These are the vector values. When you give an enter, the values will be stored in a vector of x. If you want to calculate the sum of x, just I'm defining y is a output variable, y equal to sum of x. So I will get the output of the addition of all the vector values. To find the mean, you can give mean of x. To identify the maximum value, we could give max of x, and to find the minimum value, you could give min of x. So just brought a word problem here. So here a set of data is given. Then the question is to calculate the total, mean, minimum value, maximum value, and to sort the data in the descending order. To calculate the total, we'll be using sum of x. To identify the mean value, we'll be using mean of x. To identify the minimum of the given array, just give min of x. And to have the maximum of maximum value, we'll be using max of x. To sort it in the descending order, we'll be using g sort of x. If you like to give it in the ascending order, just give g sort of g comma I in a single quotes. So next, it supports a trigonometry function such as sin x, cos x, tan x and cot x, that is a cotangent, and it also supports the arc, sin, arc, cos, arc, tan or cot, and then hyperbolic sin, cos, tan, cot, and it also supports sin c. So these are the default predefined functions supported in your Scilab. So to calculate cos of 0, just give cos of 0, answer will be 1. If you give sin of 90, it will give 0.8939. So if you want to convert your angles, we have to multiply into pi divided by 180. So when you give 90 into pi by 180, we'll get the answer as 1 for sin 90. So these are some probabilistic and statistics functions defined in a Scilab. Factorial of n, g RND is to generate the random number. UIN signifies random number of integer sequence will be generated. G random of UNF signifies random of real sequence will be generated. And sum of n and cumulative sum could be achieved using CUM, SUM. And the length could be calculated using length, and sort we just discussed G sort. Then mean also we discussed mean of V. To identify the standard deviation, we could use STD DEV. To display the chart, we'll be using bar. Then RAND random will display the random numbers in terms of matrix. Then RAND, it will display the random number between 0 and 1. Then floor will give you the floor integral part of the x. So these are the built-in function, just as discussed earlier. I just brought it in a single snapshot. Then your system command. So Scilab supports a few of the system commands like pwd. It retrieves the name of the current directory. To change the directory, it is cd or chdir. These are the default command which we would have seen in the DOS commands also. If you want to display the clock value and the date and the calendar, we have a system command of clock, date and calendar. So if you type clock, it will display the current date along with the time. If you give calendar, calendar will give you the current month calendar. If you want to specify the year and the date, year and the month, then just specify calendar, which year you want. So I specified it is 2007 and I specified August. So August 2007 calendar will be displayed here. So next we are going to explore about creating the arrays, that is vectors and the matrices. So Scilab by default it will consider the data in terms of the vectors and the matrices. So A is equal to, I'm creating a vector. So this is your row vector. The another way to create a row vector is 1, 2, 3. So if you give 1 space 2 space 3, then it also creates a row vector. If you give 1, 2, 3, then it also creates a row vector. If you like to create a column vector, then we need to give semicolon. So 1, 1 semicolon, 2 semicolon 3, like that if it goes, then it creates a column vector. So if you want to display a sequence of data in series, then you can go with A equal to 1:10. So starting value of 1 and ending value of 10 with the default increment of 1 will be displayed in a vector variable called A here. So here you can give the sequence as a first term, Q as a spacing, N as the last term. So in the second example I just brought, A is equal to 100 minus 10 is to 0. So the starting value here is 100 and it is going to be decremented with minus 10, that is the spacing, and it will going to stop at 0. So last term is 0 here. So the sequence will produce from 90, 100, 90, 87 and goes on till 0. Next, the other set of predefined functions used in the Scilab is, if you want to calculate the length of your vector, you can give length. If you want to identify the unique value defined in a vector, you can give unique. And then if you want to find the sum and the product, you can give sum and prod. To find the particular location of your matrices, then you can give find. Then we have linspace. Linspace is going to generate the set of data. So the format is linspace 0, 10, 5. So here 0 is the first element, 10 is the last element and 5 is the intermediate element. So this is the number of elements to be produced. Okay. So if I give 0, 10, 5, so 5 data will be produced with the range from 0 to 10. Then we have a sign and the size. Sign will return the sign value of the vector. Then size will return the size of the vector. So here I just brought a practice problem. So G is equal to product of A. So it will calculate the product of the vector A. Now I am assigning another vector A is equal to 0, 1, minus 2, plus 3, plus 4. So if you like to return the sign, so you have to give a function called sign of A. So it returns for 0, if the element is 0, it will return value as 0. For plus positive value, plus 1, plus 3, plus 4, it returns plus 1. For minus 2, it returns minus 1. So for negative number, it returns minus 1. For positive number, it returns plus 1. For the element 0, since there is no magnitude for it, it returns 0. So find A greater than 5. So it returns all the vector value whose value is greater than 5. So the location of the value whose values are greater than 5 will be displayed as here. Then linspace will give you the values between 0 to 10 with a 5 data. So the 5 intermediate data will be 0, 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10. If you like to give the length of the vector, then give length of A. Unique, so I have brought a vector V. So here 2696 minus 402. Out of this, the unique values are minus 4, 0, 2, 6 and 9. So these are the unique values. So repeated values of 2 and repeated values of 6 will be ignored in unique. So if you want to calculate the size, you can give size of A. If you like to give the length, you can give a length of A. So here I just brought a matrix of A here. So A is equal to 1 space 2 space 3, that is your first row, and semicolon signifies you are moving to the second row. So 4, 5, 6 is the second row and 7, 8, 9 is the third row. So the rows and column matrix is given here. Sum of A will give you the sum of the all element. Product of A will return the product of all the elements. If you like to identify the sum of the element of the columns alone, then you need to specify sum of A, C in single quotes. So C signifies the sum of the column. If you like to get the sum of the row element, you have to specify R in the single quotes. The few other predefined functions with respect to the matrices. If you want to generate a matrix of 0, then you have to give 0 of 3, 4. So 3 cross 4 matrix with the element all 0 will be produced. If you want to produce 1 in the matrix of all element, so 1 is a predefined function. If you want to display the identity matrix, then you need to specify the keyword as key, I of 3, 3. So it displays the identity matrix of size 3 cross 3. The diagonal values will be displayed using DIAG, and the random number, if you want to generate a random number, random of 3, 5. So this is just brought up practice problem again. So I just defined a vector A here. So I of 2, 2 signifies we will be displaying a identity matrix of size 2 cross 2. Ones displays here 2 cross 3 matrix of 1, all ones. And G sort of A will display the vector in the descending order. Diagonal of A will display the diagonal value, and zeros of 3, 3 will display all the vectors with 0 element. If you want to identify the determinant of A, the function is det of A. If you want to identify the norm of A, so the function is norm, norm of A. Rank of A will be identified by the function rank of A. Trace of the matrix will be identified by trace of A. If you like to produce the inverse of A, the function is inv of A. The transpose is identified by A dash. Then the random of the number 2, 2 signifies 2 rows and 2 columns of random numbers will be generated here. So our next learning will be in the session 3, we will be learning about Scilab editor and how to write a program in the Scilab. Thank you so much. If you like to continue the learning, just subscribe it. If you like the video, you just comment it, share it. Thank you so much from the Majestic Learning.